Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have swatches for you from the Pluviophile Collection from Night Owl Lacquer. I do also have their Cream of the Month to share with you today as well. So the Pluviophile Collection has 6 creams and 3 toppers. These will be available on August 31st, so in the description box below I will link the Night Owl site, I will link their Instagram page, and I will link my Instagram page where you can see more swatches of everything from this collection. So including the Cream of the Month, we have 10 polishes to look at today, and let's go ahead and get started. So starting off with the September Cream of the Month, we have Autumn is Calling, and this is described as a fiery bright red cream that was inspired by the color of changing leaves. So here's our first coat of Autumn is Calling. This has a really good, smooth, easy to work with formula. I didn't have any running or pulling or anything like that. I also didn't have any nail staining, but I did get this in my cuticles and it did want to stay in there, so just bear that in mind. So here's our second coat, and this does cover completely in 2 coats for me. This also dries really glossy on its own. I did have some unmixed pigment in this one. I don't know if all bottles are like that, but it didn't affect how the polish applied, so I kept it how it was. So there is 2 coats. Now moving on to the Pluviophile Collection, we have Let It Rain, and this is described as a light gray cream. Here's our first coat of Let It Rain. This one also has a really smooth, really easy to work with formula, no running or pooling again. Very consistent across the board with all of the creams in this collection. This is very opaque here on this first coat, but I do have some patchy spots, so I am going to go in for a second coat, and this does self-level really nicely as well. So here's our second coat, and this one does cover again completely in 2 coats for me. This one also dries very glossy on its own, but if you want it to last any length of time, you will want a nice glossy top coat to finish this one off as well. Again, I didn't have any kind of staining here either. So there is 2 coats. Over Let It Rain, I am layering Stormy Skies, and this is described as a topper with charcoal fleekies, white fleekies, and silver to white sparks. So here's 1 coat of Stormy Skies, and this one has a really great formula as well. The glitter distribution is phenomenal. I didn't have to manipulate this in any kind of way or do any swirling to get all the glitter out. It distributes really evenly. Nothing in here is going to dry textured, and nothing in here is too hard to remove. I did use pure acetone though. So there is 1 coat. Next up we have the Smell of Rain, and this is described as a grayed brown cream. So here's our first coat of the Smell of Rain. This one also again has a really good, really easy to work with formula, no running or pooling or staining or anything like that. It self-levels really, really nicely. It also covers really well here on this first coat. I am going to go ahead and throw on a second coat just to level everything out. So here's our second coat, and this one obviously covers completely in 2 coats. Just like the rest of the creams, this one dries down glossy on its own, but you will want a nice top coat to finish it off if you want it to last. And obviously, nothing in here is going to be hard to take off. So there is 2 coats. Up next we have Watching the Rain, and this is described as a grayed blue cream. Here's our first coat of Watching the Rain. Just like the rest of the creams, this one has a great, fantastic, easy to work with formula. 0 complaints on this. No running or pulling or staining or anything of that sort. They also all self-level really, really nicely. So if you don't do 100 brush strokes like I do, it should just be fine. So here's our second coat, and this does cover completely in 2 coats for me. Again, this dries down glossy on its own, though you will want a top coat if you want it to stay. Again, just really, really great formulas on these creams. So there is 2 coats. Over Watching the Rain, we are layering Flash of Lightning, and this is described as a topper with silver hollow micro shreds and silver hollow lightning bolts. So here's 1 coat of Flash of Lightning.
The holographic flakes in here do distribute really evenly. I could not get the lightning bolts to come out of the bottle on my brush, so I am just doing some glitter placement with them. If you do it this way, they will lie relatively smooth, though you will want a top coat to kind of make everything look nice and cohesive. But the formula on this is really good as well. You will want a nice top coat to finish this off, and nothing is hard to take off. So there is one coat. Up next we have Find Peace in the Rain, and this is described as a grade teal cream. Here is our first coat of Find Peace in the Rain. I am a broken record, but this covers really well with a great formula. No running or pooling or staining on this one as well. And I don't swatch with base coat, but I also didn't keep these blues on for very long, but I don't feel like they have the staining properties. So here's our second coat, and this one does cover completely in 2 coats for me. Again, it's going to dry down glossy on its own. You will want a top coat if you want it to stay. And I have nothing else to say because they're all really, really great. So there is 2 coats. Next up we have Dancing in the Rain, and this is described as a grade violet cream. Here's our first coat of Dancing in the Rain. This one, again, covers really good here on this first coat with a great, easy to work with formula, no running or pooling, not too thick or too thin, just kind of stays right where you put it. My bottle did have some kind of separation where the white pigment wanted to kind of separate, but it didn't affect the polish whatsoever. So here's our second coat, and this does cover completely in 2 coats for me. Again, it's going to dry down very glossy on its own. You will want a top coat if you want to wear the manicure for any more length of time than just a swatch like I am. So there's 2 coats. Over Dancing in the Rain, we're going to layer Light Through the Clouds, and this is described as a topper full of blue to purple iridescent shreds in various sizes. And here's one coat of Light Through the Clouds. Now this one, I don't know what to put this over. I've tried it over about 100 different things, and the darker colors will help the smaller blue particles stand out, and the lighter colors will help the larger particles stand out. So I don't know quite yet what it looks best over, but it does have a good formula. So there is one coat. And lastly for today we have Rhythm of the Rain, and this is described as a grade wine cream. And here's our first coat of Rhythm of the Rain. Per the usual of the creams in this collection, it has a great formula, no running or pooling or staining. I do think this one is a little bit thicker than the rest of them. It didn't self-level as well as the rest of them did, so I did have to kind of mind my brush strokes and level everything out myself, which I don't mind doing, but it is something to know. I'm not sure if my bottle was not fully sealed or something, but it is just noticeably thicker than the rest of them. It does cover completely in 2 coats just fine though, and again it dries down very glossy on its own. So there is 2 coats.
Let's talk about some favorites. The first one being Find Peace in the Rain. I love this shade of blue. I love the dustiness. I love the murky kind of touch that it has to it. I love this. It looks so, so beautiful on my skin tone. I really... And then my other favorite is a combination. The combination of Let It Rain and Stormy Skies, the light gray and the like dark gray topper, looks so gorgeous to me. I am madly in love with this topper paired with the cream. So these 3 are absolute must-haves of the collection. And that is it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of this collection. Let me know if you plan on picking any of them up, and let me know what your favorite was. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I will talk to you again next time.